Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Invincible Iron Man Issue 3, and they're doing a real good job here, and I'm really liking what they've been doing. Riri Williams gets more fleshed out with this, and I'm really liking her character. They've done a very good job with her, and a real good job with her repertoire with the AI Tony. It's pretty much Tony, except he has no body and no off button, which is terrifying in and of itself, but does some great humor along the way. So the beginning of the issue dealt more with his company that he has left behind, which I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. And it shows Mary Jane and Friday and, incidentally, Tony's biological mother kind of dealing with the situation there. And this one dude, as with the board and everybody wanting to take control of the company, they find out that Tony made additions to his living will to make his biological mother in charge of the company. So, incidentally, this dude is also a big fan of hers because she does music and all that kind of stuff. And he pretty much becomes a non-problem after she just kind of deals with him and starts talking with Friday and Mary Jane about like the various states. She's like, I don't know what to do. Can you do this? I've been doing it. We're good. Making some jokes about Skynet and all that, and talking about using Tony's money for good, and if they need to do anything to have another armored person, Iron Person in the works. And of course, Friday's talking about how he's already had that, she's all set up, and they're all good on that front. Which then, of course, we go to Riri Williams building her kind of a finalized set of armor at the moment, and I say that at the moment because if you're an armored person, you got a main armor that you've got at the moment, and then of course through arcs you're going to get new stuff, but we've got the one that's been pretty much built up to on the covers and all that, and it looks really good. I like the design, and I really like the artist that they've got for this because they do people well and armor well. You really need that in this. I've gone through some comics of Iron Man's where it's like weird looking faces, but really beautiful armor. And I'm like, and then you got like really weird looking armor, but like the faces are actually human. And then sometimes you get them where it's just like weird kind of style and like neither's on point. You're like, I don't know what I'm looking at. But this artist really knows how to let armor shine in action and also just when it's like on its own. And we really get to see some interesting action with it because Tony's talking to her about like making the suit and everything, talking to her about her name and all that, and you're like, wow, I wouldn't think of Iron Girl and Iron Woman, and then he's going on female with FE-male, FE being the sign for iron, which is a kind of clever one, but she looks at him like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, that's Tony. He just spits balls like ain't nobody's business. Like, I don't think. I just think. And that's the beauty. It doesn't make sense, but he just keeps thinking and thinking. He's like, okay, this work? Oh, okay. And then talking to her about if she has any friends, which brings up the psychological issue of course, her friend that died, her stepdad and all that. And she wants him to shut up, but of course, she can't shut him up. But he's like, you kind of need friends and all that. You need something to fight for. And of course, you can see that the pain of losing her friend and her stepdad has made her kind of pull away from everybody. That's kind of why, that's one kind of layer of why she wants to build the armors. Because she wants to kind of protect people. That's one motivation, but also protect herself from that kind of hurt. And that's the one kind of hurt that you really can't plan for or protect yourself against. You're always going to lose people, but you got to learn how to deal with that. And hopefully we see that going through her arcs and all that. That's the kind of cool stuff. And then we also see her having these conversations, fighting various kind of like villains, like the Rhino and monsters and all this kind of stuff. And then we see her with like Miles Morales as Spider-Man and I think the Chitauri, and it's just like, I don't mind those, but it's like, you really need some context with that kind of stuff. Because the Chitauri are kind of integral to Steve Rogers' Captain America plans, and if that's kind of going on with this, you kind of have to watch out when you're doing that kind of stuff, because I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Timelines! Ah! But I still liked seeing that going on. And then, of course, she starts, like, shouting at him, talking about, like, how the gun violence and, like, that kind of stuff shouldn't happen. It doesn't need to happen. And, of course, the AI comes up with Ironheart. And she's like, ooh, let me think about that. And then Pepper Potts comes in her rescue armor, and it was cool to see Pepper interact with the Tony AI. I mean, like, kind of uncomfortable and saying, oh yeah, Tony thought it was a great gift to make an AI exactly like him without a mute button. That's a gift to him. And then talking to Riri Williams, and of course, Pepper's like trying to introduce her to this world. And like, do I want to tell someone who I have never met before and only heard about my name and all that? And she's like, yeah, I know who you are. And she's like, okay, I like you. We're good with this. And then at the end, we get the biohack ninjas, and Pepper and Riri have lost their armor to the Inhuman with the ability to kind of take metal and all that. And it's like, okay, that's an interesting enemy for her to kind of first face, to kind of take away the armor that she's just learning to use. But I hope it's implemented more effectively now than it was when it had to deal with Civil War II. I don't know, because Bendis was in charge of both things. So we'll have to see, but I know that we'll still have good character development, and hopefully later on we'll get kind of new kind of villains specifically for Riri to fight. That's what I want to see. New kind of stuff. New things for her to fight. New challenges that are kind of just her own kind of thing. And hopefully they're able to present at least this one, since Tony fought them, but not really. It was kind of weird. So hopefully they use these villains more effectively. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.